day 2. All right, I have a system of equations. I pulled them out of the book. It's just one created already, okay? And so my goal, because I'm using the method of row echelon. Okay? And so my goal is that I want to get my main diagonal, the first 2 in ones, and then the triangle below it as zeros. All right? That's the goal. Because once I get it to that, then I can go back to the method that we, where I have 2z equals 8, and then I can solve to go back up. Okay, good? All right, so let's write the matrix. So I have 2, 2, 4, and 8 for my first equation. And then I have 2, 4, 6, and 10 for my second. And then I have 1, 2, -5, 1. Are we good? All right. So first thing is to do row operations, and you start with the first column so that I get the column to be 1, 0, 0. All right. So if for a 1, I multiply the row by the opposite inverse. So my rule is that I want row 1, the inverse of 2 is 1/2. So I'm going to have 1/2 of row 1. Good? All right, so let's multiply all of them. And 1/2 of 2 gives me 1. 1/2 of 2 is another 1. 1/2 of 4 is 2. And 1/2 of 8 is 4. I didn't do anything else to row 2 and row 3, so they stay the same. 1, 2, -1. All right. Everybody good on that one? Yes? Okay, so now I want to get my second element to be a 0, and so to get it to 0, you multiply the opposite. So I'm going to say for row 2, the opposite of 2 is -2. I'm going to multiply it by row 1, because there's the 1, and then I'm going to add it to row 2.
Why don't you just multiply it by row 2?
Because if I multiply -2 times 2, that's going to give me -4. So I have to multiply by the 1 above it, so that gives me -2. -2 plus 2 will make it 0.
Could you do it in row 3 since there's a 1?
Yeah, but typically you go with the row above it. I don't know why. Okay? All right, so that means that row 1 stays the same. So -2 times 1 is -2. -2 plus 2 gives me 0. Okay? So -2 times 1 is -2. -2 plus 4 gives me +2.
Sorry, can you move it up just a little bit?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. That better? Now let me move down that way so that proves true. All right. -2 times 2 is -4. -4 plus 6 gives me 2. And -2 times 4 is -8. -8 plus 10 gives me 2.
Wow. That's what.
Okay? Good so far? Alright, I got 2 down. Now I gotta go for my last one. And so, since it's a 1, I'm going to say, hey, row 3, I'm going to make negative row 1, because I multiplied by a negative 1 to change my signs, and then adding it to row 3. Okay?
So you basically always, like, the easiest way to do is multiply it by row 1.
Yeah. Until you, when you're working on the second, when you start working on the second one, you'll do it by the one above. Right here, let's do this and then I'll show you. Okay, so row 2 stays the same. So I'm going to have negative 1 plus 1 gives me 0. Yay. Negative 1 plus 2 gives me 1. Negative 2 plus negative 5 gives me negative 7. And negative 4 plus 1 gives me negative 3. Okay? So we got our first column done. Yay. Okay? So now we're going to look at the second column, which is like these 2 right here. All right? And look, I have a 1 because I want to get that 1 in the very first position, right? What could I do? What row operation could I do to do that? Everybody remember? Flip-flop. I can say, hey, guess what? Row 2 is going to become row 3. And so then 1, 1, 2, 4. I have 0, 1, negative 7, negative 3. And then 0, 2, 2, 2. Those are the easiest ones. Look for those 1s and 0s that you can move stuff around. It makes life so much easier. You don't have to do a calculation. All right, so my last thing, because remember the goal, I got my 2 1s, I need 3, the triangle of 0s. So all I got to do is make that 2 into a 0. And so, since I have the 1 right above it, I'm going to say for row 3, I'm going to multiply a negative 2. I can do it to row 2 above me. And then add it to row 3. Good? All right, so 1, 1, 2, and 4 stays the same. So my zeros are going to be the same. So negative 2 times 1 plus 2 gives me 0. Negative 2 times negative 7 is 14. 14 plus 2 is 16. Negative 2 times negative 3 is 6. 6 plus 2 gives me 8.
You didn't change row 2 at all, did you?
Nope. I'm only changing row 3. I'm using row 2 to multiply, but I'm only changing row 3. All right, mission is accomplished. I got my 2 1s. I have my triangle of 0s. So now I'm going to rewrite it as a system of equations. My last one, because remember this is x, this is y, that's z, and that's my answer. So equation 3, well, let's just start. Equation 3 is 16z is equal to 8. Agree with that? So Z is 8/16 or 1/2. Okay, equation 2 will be y minus 7z is equal to -3. But now that I know what z is, I can say y is 7 times 1/2. And then I can solve for y. So that would be -6/2 plus 7/2. So y is 1/2 too. And then I go up to my last one for 1, because that was x plus y plus 2z is equal to 4. Substitute what I know in. 1/2 plus 2 times 1/2. So I have x plus 1/2 plus 1. 1.5. So x is 2.5.